Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I don't know why I said that twice. It just felt right. So this is not coming from a place of hatred for Izzy. I used to be a very hardcore Izzy fan, as I said in another video, which is currently uploading, that you haven't seen yet. You might see if this one uploads quicker, since it's going to be shorter, ideally. So yeah, I don't think Israel Adesanya will win fights anymore. I just don't see it happening. And I actually wrote down some stuff for this video, so hopefully, hang on, hopefully, let me put that at 9, there we go. So hopefully, there we go, that sounds better probably. So yeah, hopefully, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna win fights. Number one reason, out of all these reasons that I wrote down, he barely regained his title. Now, you're going to say he won his title by knockout. That's true. He won it by knockout after eating 20 leg kicks in order to get the knockout. And, you know, that, I don't know. It just seems like he used a lot of himself up trying to beat Alex Pereira. I think his chin was taken last November, and I think he's still kind of, I don't think he has much of a chin anymore. I think he had 2 primes, 2 title runs. Does that happen? Rarely do people oh my god. Rarely do UFC fighters, I've been awake for like 15 hours, but yeah, rarely do UFC fighters have 2 title runs. That is extremely rare. You know who didn't get their title back? Anderson Silva. You know who didn't get their title back? God damn it, JDS. You know who didn't get their title back? Cain Velasquez. You know who didn't get their title back? Dominic Cruz. You know who didn't get their title back? Frankie Edgar. You know who didn't get their title back? BJ Penn. These are all greats. And it is so rare for a UFC fighter to get their title back. And now Izzy is in a position where he's going to have to get it back a 3rd time. And in this scenario, it's going to be very hard for him to get back. Unless if Sean wants to do the rematch. That is the only thing that will give him a chance, in my opinion. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I just watched his coach's press conference, since Izzy didn't want to do the press conference, which is, I think, is a bad sign. Like, I know I'm just some fat guy talking about MMA, but if you can't talk to reporters and journalists for 10 minutes, then I don't know. I think that Izzy has used up a lot of himself becoming the greatest middleweight champion ever. I just don't see the resilience being there to get this title back a 3rd time. So number one reason, I touched on this in my video that's uploading. Izzy, if he doesn't get the title shot, he can't fight like number 6, number 5, even number 4 in the world. Like, you can't have the former image that Sean Strickland destroyed of Israel Adesanya going against, someone that isn't great. Like, let's look at 185. The fight that I said this in my other video, that makes sense to me, I think, is Whitaker. Do the trilogy in Australia, and I don't think Izzy wins that fight. So let's look at who else Izzy can fight. At 185. Bantamweight, featherweight, middleweight, champion. They still haven't updated it. Look at that. It's way too bright. But yeah. Dricus du Plessis, number 1. 2, Robert Whittaker. 3, Jared Cannonier. 4, Marvin Vettori. 5, Strickland. 6, Costa. Izzy has literally beat 5 of them. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 6 of them. So yeah, that's the top 6. After that, you get to Roman Dolidze, who I don't even know who he is. I mean, I know who he is. I know he's a Russian wrestler. Or maybe like Eastern European, something that involves potatoes and communism. So yeah, if Izzy doesn't get the title shot, who does he beat to get the title shot? Does he beat Dricus du Plessis? Does he beat Robert Whittaker? Again, for the 3rd time. I don't know. Whittaker had a lot of success in that second fight with his jab. He had good wrestling. I said all this in that other video, so hopefully you didn't watch it and you're not hearing me repeat myself. He beat Vettori twice. He probably beats Vettori again. Vettori kind of sucks. There's no reason for him to fight Vettori. But Whittaker, on the other hand, was the former champion, and then their second fight, Whittaker won 2 rounds, in my opinion, so it was not exactly a landslide like his other performances were against, like, Cannonier or Vettori or Costa or Romero. So who does Izzy beat to get the title shot? He's got to beat Whittaker, I think, and I don't think he beats Whittaker. I think he fights Whittaker. I think he loses to Whittaker. And if they do an immediate rematch with Sean, I think he loses again to Sean. I think Sean is really good. I think Izzy's kicks were fast, and they were violent and thrown with malicious intent, but Sean saw them coming, which is actually on my list. Izzy used all of the weapons that he has against former opponents. They just didn't work. He just couldn't land on Sean, which is just bananas. All the weapons. The only thing I thought he could have used a couple times were elbows. But Izzy just, never throws elbows. It's weird. It's like Holloway. Except Holloway randomly started throwing elbows in one of his last fights. But yeah, you just about never see Izzy throw elbows. And I think he could have done that against Sean. But Sean is so good. Once you get, within arm's reach of him, that close, he's just a problem. So yeah, have I finished my list? I want to make this video quick. 8 minutes? That's terrible. Regain the belt. He barely... Number 2 on my list was that he... which I already touched on, was that he barely won against Alex, if we're being honest. And, yeah, I already covered that. And yeah, I know he got the knockout, but after eating all those leg kicks and eating some shots and playing possum, which only works once, mentally weak, that's what I meant about skipping the press conference. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign. And then I wrote, time is done. And what I mean by that is that his time is done, in my opinion, which ultimately wraps up my video. His time is done. I don't think he makes a 3rd title run. I don't think he regains the belt for a 3rd time. And if he does, he better retire, I think. Because statistically, I believe he's the best middleweight ever. And I think he should try to keep it that way if he can somehow beat Sean, which he would need a title shot to do, because I don't think he's beating Whittaker. I think Whittaker can bounce back from his last loss. And Sean kind of just made a blueprint of how to beat Izzy. But then again, that's just because Sean is so good at seeing all those strikes coming. I don't believe it was a problem of Izzy being hesitant or throwing differently. I think he just couldn't connect. He threw he missed 100 strikes, over 100 strikes. I don't know. It's just not something you normally see. I think Izzy had a prime, and I think it's over. It's just my opinion. I'm not an Izzy hater. I'm just stating my opinion. I think it's the end of the line. You can disagree with me if you want. I don't really care. I'm a guy in a room. But yeah, I don't think the rest of his career goes very well. Strickland, though, I don't know what's going to happen with Strickland. Yeah, I think as long as Strickland stays out of trouble, he's going to make a lot of money. I think he's going to fight for another year and then retire. I said that in my video that's uploading. But, yeah, basically, I'm tired. What else can I say? 11 minutes. Yeah, I just don't see him regaining it. I said that already. Did I cover everything on my list? Fighter weapons. Yes, he used all his weapons, they just didn't work. His weapons just didn't have, they had blanks in them. They didn't have that 38 special locked and loaded. So yeah, thanks for watching. It's been real.